What's up, guys? Welcome to my first card counting video. I'm going to give you a quick little backstory and intro. If you want to skip through that, it'll be about 3 minutes, 45 seconds, something like that. I actually took the LSAT the morning that I left for this trip because I'm planning on going to law school in the fall. So this will be part 1 to this trip. I'm still working out the kinks with the camera and just the quality of it and making sure to move my hands and other factors, but I plan on these videos to continue to improve. On the way there, we actually run into some hail, and it's like pretty loud, and I haven't ever driven through hail, so that was pretty interesting. I'm not going to reveal where we were going, not that it matters too much, but there's one spot in this place that I really like to hit, and I don't want it to get overrun, so if you can figure out where I go just based off of these clips of us driving, then good for you. Maybe you can go check it out. But if you really want to know, maybe comment below and I'll let you know. But a little backstory to how I started counting. I was actually in Las Vegas just on a trip, and I had seen some card counting videos, so I knew like the high-low system, and so I decided to sit down at a table and try it. And I didn't even know how to calculate the true count. I didn't know any deviations. I really didn't know much of anything, actually, but I sat down and found it actually kind of easy to keep the count, at least the running count. So I did that for a while at this table in Vegas. I mean, maybe like 45 minutes, this double deck game with good pin, and I made like $700-800, and then I got a back off, and I had no idea, that I was even doing it correctly. And so once I got the back off, it kind of confirmed that, maybe I was doing something right. So then I got more interested in it, figured out deviations, like really memorized basic strategy, and figured out, obviously you divide by the amount of decks remaining to get the true count, and the other little smaller things that matter a lot when it comes to card counting. And so that was kind of sparked my interest, and now we're gonna put my skills to the test. This is part 1 of this video. I'll be releasing part 2 probably within the next week, I hope. It's a lot of editing, which I haven't mastered yet, so hopefully that'll continue to get better as well, and these videos, just quality can get better in general. I plan on getting another camera because this camera works, the hidden camera. The disguise is a lot. It was a lot more going into it than I really thought. It's a hidden camera and a button, which makes it, I don't know, there's probably other ones on the market that I could find that are better. I mean, this one was like $160, which put into my expenses, and then I have gas and a hotel room, which was other expenses. I go to this trip with my girlfriend and one of my buddies, and I really think it's good cover play to go with your girlfriend, because I mean, if it's like my girlfriend, she'll talk anybody's head off, and she'll talk to the pit, the dealers a bunch, and I mean, I guess most card counters really wouldn't bring their girlfriend and sit down at a table. Like, most of the time they would do it alone. So I think that helped me a little bit. I actually got a little bit of heat at one point from the pit, but the pit ended up, his parents actually live where I'm from, so I don't know if just small world connections and us talking to him a lot. He got a call and was looking right at me like twice, and my friend and my girlfriend both said they swear that he was talking about me, but I don't know, I didn't hear it. So, but I didn't get a back off. Here it is. I'm buying in for $700. This is one of the casinos I hit. First spot, yeah, this is the first spot, $700 buy-in. And the fishing line right there is because of my croaky on my sunglasses. It gets a little bit better into the video, but for now you're just gonna have to bear with me for that. Next time I do this, I definitely know to move that out of the way. I also lost a lot of footage because of the SD card getting full on my camera. So here we have a true 1, and I get dealt a 20, and the dealer has a 10 and an ace underneath for a blackjack. So we start off down $25. It drops down to a minimum bet here for a hand. I get dealt a 16, which I don't know if the count had dropped or because I hit on that, a deviation would be standing on a 16 versus a 10 up if the count is positive. So I'm assuming the count had dropped a little bit. We have another minimum bet. And the first shoe, I think the second shoe really gets spicy. So I wasn't in there long before the count got high, which I love a double deck because the count just moves so much. It's definitely a lot more fun. You can generate more EV than 6 decks also, but they're really hard to find. A good double deck game is really hard to find. So here we have a true one. I stick out my bet at $25. And we get dealt a ace 10 for a blackjack. So that one pays $37.50. Still a true one. I try to leave a lot of the true ones out, as well as negative shoes. I definitely just completely cut those out. But there is a couple hands in here where it, you know, goes from a true one to a negative count, about a true one, and then it continues to rise. If it just stayed at a true one for the entire shoe, I typically left it out. But that was just the first shoe that I was in the casino. This is the second shoe, and I get dealt a 13 versus a dealer bust card. And the dealer draws a bunch of low cards and then bust, and so that one pays. And the count has risen there from all those low cards, and so we stick out a bet of $25, settling on a true one. We get dealt a 2 and a 7 versus a dealer bust card, 3 through 6. So we double down. Dealer does exactly what we wanted and bust, and we get paid. Still a true one. See, actually it's a true 2. I tried to add another $25 to it, but she dealt the cards too fast, and they had already gotten on to me once for trying to stick more money out just last minute. So I get a 3 of 5, another 3 for an 11 and hit, and get a 2. So now I have a 13. So here I kind of act stupid and act like I can't even add up my cards, trying to ask the dealer to tell me what I have, knowing that I should stand since the dealer has a bust card. And the dealer draws and does not bust, so that one is a loss. And now we have a true 4, which I put at a $125 bet. You can see my bet spread down there in the bottom left corner, as well as my profit and the true count in the bottom right. So we have a true 4 for $125, and we get dealt a 14, which we have to hit on and bust. Next hand is a true 3.5, so I settle on about a $100 bet. Here we get dealt a 17, which we have to stand on. The dealer draws a couple low cards and bust for a $100 win. Leave the 100 out. Actually, it looks like we're gonna add more. Yep, true 7 plus. So this is our max bet of 250. She had already dealt the first card there. See, she probably would have got on to me, but she let it slide that time. I got a 12 versus a bust card, and the dealer does exactly what we want and bust. So we have a $250 win there, which is always nice. Next hand is still a true 7. You can see me adding my chips up because sometimes I do make a betting mistake. If you see any betting mistake, deviation mistake, anything in here, just let me know. I get a 19, stand on it, and the dealer draws to an 18 there, I believe. This is the second shoe in. I mean, I've been in the casino for maybe 10 minutes at this point. Still a true 7, and we get dealt a 13, which I have to hit on, and I luckily get a 6 for a 19, and the dealer flips a 19 for a push, and it's still a true 7, so I leave my 250 out again, and we get dealt a 14, another terrible hand that we have to hit on, and we luckily get a 5 for another 19, and the dealer flips, and she had a 17 there, and so we win that hand. I plan on getting another camera with better quality, so now we're already up $722. Now the profit is not going to be exactly right because it doesn't have all the negative shoes. Here we get a 20, and the dealer flips a 10, has a 10, and flips an ace underneath for a 21. So that $700 being up was very short-lived. Now we have a true 5, and we put out our bet of 175. And we get dealt an ace 3 versus a dealer 5, which is a double. So we double down, and now we have $350 out. And the dealer draws again, and we lose that 350. That one hurt. That one stung pretty bad in the moment. So now the count is up again to a true 7. So we're gonna stick out our bet of $250. Yep, we stick out our bet of $250 and get dealt 20. And I can't remember what the dealer had, but it must not have been a 4, 5, or 6 if I didn't split the 10s. So we would make that 250 there. That's a good win. And now we slide our bet back. The count's dropped a little bit, and we settle on a true 4. So we send out our $125 bet. And we bust. Actually, I think I was supposed to put 125 there, and it looks like I put 100. So that looked like a betting mistake, but I guess it saved me $25 in that situation. Here we go into the next shoe, and I get dealt a pair of 2s on the first hand of the shoe. So we split them. I think we're versus a dealer 5 or 6 card here. We get dealt a 3 for a 5, which we hit again. And we get an ace for a 6 or 16. We hit again. And we get a 4 for a 20. Next hand we hit, and I think we get to a 15. Yep, 15, and we have to stand on it. The dealer draws to a 19, so one hand lost and one hand won, so it's an overall push. Next hand, it looks like we have a little over a true 1.75, and we stick out our bet of about $40 to $45, and we get dealt a 20, which we stand on, and the dealer flips, and that one gets paid. Now the count has dropped a little bit to a true 1.25. I'm gonna get better at moving my hands out of the way also. I mean, this was my first time ever walking into a casino with the hidden camera on me. Looks like we have a bet of $30 out. So we're dealt a 7. I promise the croaky in the way it gets better a little bit into this video. I have more footage too that I'm gonna put in part 2, so stay tuned for that. So we have a 7, get a 9, and we have to hit a 16 and get a 10 for a bust. So we lose that hand. I'm not sure if I made a mistake by hitting that 16, because you don't hit a 16 in a positive count. So either I made a mistake or the count dropped, somehow rose back up. I mean, this is a pitch game, so I don't see the other players' cards until after the dealer's already flipped hers. So that could be what happened that made the count go back up to a true 1.25 there. Looks like we're settling on a true 1 here. And we get dealt a 9, which we have to take a card and get an ace for a 20, which is nice. The dealer had a 7 up here, I believe, and then flips a 3 and a 10 for a 20, which is a push. So the count has gone up a little bit more. I really prefer to play at a table alone. I mean, pretty much every card counter would. And I did get some shoes in alone, but this casino, a lot of times there was someone else at the table that I wanted to play. I mean, they had a 25 minimum double deck that I played, and I actually had some pretty good shoes on it, but sadly I didn't get much footage of that table because my SD card filled up. So, and then one of the times I played it and had a really hot shoe, I've only bought in 200 and then ran it up to like 610 in the matter of like maybe 10 minutes. And what happened was we went and ate dinner before that. Here I have a true 5. Yeah, we went and ate dinner before that, and I forgot to turn the camera back on after we ate dinner. So I get an 18 there, which wins, and I get paid $175. Looks like the count had dropped a little bit more, yep, to a true 2. I get my Michelob there. I have to blur out everybody's faces and all these just for safety purposes and like law purposes, you know. I don't want to get in trouble. You're not supposed to video in the casino in the first place. So here we get a true 2. We get an 11, which is always a double down. So we double it down. The dealer flips, and we have a 10 underneath for a 21. Always nice to get those double down wins. A true 1.75 here. So we settle on a bet of about $40, $45. And we get dealt a 14, which we have to take a card for a bust. 14, getting dealt to 12, 13, or 14 in a high count is just terrible. I mean, obviously getting a 16 sucks, but you stand the 16. If the count's high enough, you stand the 15. I'm pretty sure there's a deviation where you stand the 14 if it's high enough. I haven't memorized all the deviations yet. I've memorized like a lot of the most important ones. There's plenty of them that I still need to learn to increase my edge a little bit more though. But with what I know, I typically do pretty well. So here I get a 9 versus a dealer bust card, so we double down. So we stick out another $35, and the dealer draws, of course, to a 21. She does this 2 hands in a row, which was pretty tilting, but it happens. We have a true 1.75 here. I stick out a bet of about $40, $45, and we get dealt a 12. Just awesome. We stand on it because the dealer bust card. She flips a 3, and then a 8 and like a 2 or something for a 21. Pretty ridiculous. 3, 8, and then like a 5 maybe for 21, something like that. Here we have a true 5.5, so I stick out a bet of $200 right in between my true 5 and 6 bet. I get dealt to 17, which I stand on, and the dealer draws again and wins, so that's a minus 200. And now this next hand, I have a true 5. The player beside me was pretty tilted at this point that the dealer kept drawing and is having to rebuy. Of course, the other player had said they don't care about blackjack, they just wanted to play the side bets. So if you're that type of player, by all means do what you want to do, but you just have to know that you're going to win a lot more than you're going to lose a lot more than you win. Here I get dealt to 17 and stand. Dealer flips a 10 and another low card for another dealer win, which is just brutal. I believe the count had risen here again. So now we're going to stick out a little bit bigger bet maybe. Nope, stayed at a true 5. I'm going to get better at moving the hands, I promise. It's just a habit, you know, and I'm really trying to focus on my game. I hadn't counted here in a while, so I was a little rusty. Here we get a 10, or yeah, we get 2 10s. This is actually probably my favorite hand of the session. We get 2 10s versus a dealer 5, and the count had rose because she had a 5. The other player had 2 low cards, so now it was a true 5. And so I split the 10s. You split 10s against the 5 in a true 5 count. So I get another 10, now a true 4, and I stand. Another 10, true 3, so I stand. Ace, 10, and a 10 for a bust. And that one pays me $250. Would have been nice if it was on my max bet when that occurred, but that's all right. We take it where we can get it. And I believe that was the last episode.
$380. About 45 minutes goes up to 18,000, 19,000. Put it all back. Oh, thank you. I mean, but it was about 250 there, 1,000 here. You know, I mean, almost 1,300 a hand. I mean, it don't take long.
So I get dealt 7. This is on a minimum bet, but I just thought this was a fun hand.
2 weeks ago, he
I
worked
get
up
down 3
100K.
sevens, so I split, then I get a 2, double down on that.
We let you that hang grind the
And
hand
then I have
over
an
there.
ace versus a dealer 5 up card, I believe it was.
That's the casino. You
So
ever play that
I
game? It's the only game I
double the
play.
ace 7, maybe it was a 5 up.
Pretty much black
She
and
flips
red.
a 10 and another good card for a bust, and that pays me 75. And now we go into another hand. I'll see if this was an interesting experience. I hadn't had this happen before. So see the dealer flips that card. You catch that? She shows her undercard. And so she has a 9 up and a 4 underneath, and I have an A7. So I don't know if this was the right play or not. Y'all comment below and tell me what y'all would have done, but I decided to double down, which might not have been the right play.
So I get paid?
Yeah. You gotta know what you're working with.
Yeah. Alright.
What was it?
And but I have to tell my blog because he's my boss.
Today.
Well, in that case, I have a double.
What the hell you doing?
I seen the 4.
I don't know.
Do you see what green does?
Bro, I seen the
He was
4.
clowning me
Hey,
for
what
it.
would you do, bro? What would you do?
Say,
You would have sat on it?
because
You would have still lost, though.
shit like that happen.
Here's a sneak peek of my total earnings, AV, time played, each session, and my session graph, which I will be releasing all these numbers next video. And that's the end of my first video. I hope y'all enjoyed. Y'all comment below with any improvements y'all have. Part 2 will be coming out soon. Any recommendations or other things y'all might like me to do in the video, just let me know. Anything editing wise y'all would think would be better or would prefer to see, just let me know. I'm open to any improvements. This is my first video and it definitely could be better. So thank y'all for watching.